How are the most popular candies made? You know. Well, we'll take you to the factory today. In addition, we will tell you which country is #1 when it comes to candy consumers. Most of us love to be able to enjoy a delicious treat, and there are plenty of these. It is that it fills us with happiness to be able to share a good chocolate, some cookies, cakes, a whole sweetness to the palate. Before starting, I invite you to subscribe, and if you are a sweet lover, you cannot stop watching this video until the end. According to surveys, among the most popular treats are candies, chewing gums, lollipops, and of course, chocolates. But they are nothing new. Already the Egyptians and the ancient Greeks covered cereals and fruit pulp with hardened honey to create something quite similar to the sweets we have today. Centuries ago, not so many, sugar was unknown and honey was, which was used for sweet preparations at certain times. For example, in the time of Jesus Christ, bakers were both pastry chefs and used honey as the main ingredient in their recipes combined with various nuts. Children are the main consumers of sweets, but adults are not far behind for this. However, it must be noted that those also known as sweets are not the most nutritious because what they include are large amounts of sugar that, if not consumed in moderation, can cause damage to health. Treats are synonymous with joy, parties and celebrations. They are cheap, they offer different colors and shapes, which makes them essential for any type of celebration. The candy bar, or table of sweets, are already one of the most important focuses of weddings, communions, baptisms, theme parties and birthdays, so including this element to your celebrations will be a success. But since we are quite curious, we have decided to enter the most famous factory, the largest and with the highest production, very much in the style of Willy Wonka, to show you from the inside how the whole process of creating your favorite candies begins. Many times, our body asks us to eat something sweet, because it lacks sugar and energy. This craving is solved perfectly with sweets and chocolate, since their size is usually small and in a single bite, we can satisfy that craving perfectly. A small dose of these and voila! Our body is rewarded and grateful for that small portion of sugar and energy that we have given it. And if we consume it so often, how come we don't know what happens behind the walls that make it? Let's get started right away. Let's start with the Lindt Gold Easter Bunny. The first was created in 1952, and since then it has been marketed in large regions of the world, mainly Europe. Every Lindt creation is made with precision and care. It takes about an hour of work to bring a perfect Lindt Gold Bunny to life. One half is made in each mold. After covering the molds with extra fine chocolate, the parts that will give the rabbit its shape are joined together and it is left to cool at the optimum temperature to achieve a perfect shine and spectacular flavors. They are then taken to packaging. Each bunny is wrapped in the characteristic gold paper, all the nutritional information is placed on it and they go to their next destination. And yes, believe it or not, despite being such a popular factory, one of the master chocolatiers polishes it by hand with gloves. This is a final loving touch, the red collar and the bell are placed on it. Without a doubt, the Swiss have stood out with this popular invention, a symbol of Easter and joy for children. Finally, it is placed in the container molds in which they will be distributed. And these bunnies have a rather curious history. It is said that one Easter day, the little daughter of a Lindt Swiss master chocolatier discovered a bunny in the garden of her house. She asked if she could go out and play with the bunny. Her father accepted, but as soon as the girl walked out the door, the bunny quickly disappeared into the bushes. The girl was sad and her father decided to create a chocolate bunny that her daughter could always find, thus the Lindt Gold Bunny was born. Thank you we give to that rabbit. The Lindt Gold Bunny arrived in Latin America at Easter 2002 and jumped to Russia and Hong Kong in 2004. Since 2007 it has managed to conquer the East, and today about 150 million Lindt Gold Bunnies are sold each year in more than 50 countries around the world. If we lined them up, they would cover the distance from our headquarters in Zurich, Switzerland, to San Diego, California. More than 9,800 kilometers. By the way, did you know that chocolate has not always been consumed solid? Until 1842, when the first chocolate bar was created, this food was consumed in liquid form. The solid presentation could be achieved with the improvements introduced in the chocolate industry at the end of the 19th century. And if you prefer white chocolate, then we bring you another piece of information. White chocolate does not exist. It is really a preparation based on condensed milk and sugar that includes cocoa butter, but in reality, it does not have cocoa paste, the product that preserves the properties of cocoa. We continue with the popular gummy bears or gummy bears. This is one of everyone's favorites since its creation in 1920, and although the recipe is simple enough to make at home, these machines show us that it is not so simple at an industrial level. First, all the ingredients are mixed in a large tub. Typical ones are corn syrup, sugar, water, gelatin, food coloring, and aromatics, the latter often coming from fruit juices and citric acid. What concludes from this mixture is a thick substance known by manufacturers as liquid manure. Who came up with this name? Doesn't sound appetizing at all. Finally, this liquid manure is cooked and is transported to the molds by hoses. They pour the liquid in each of the molds and cool. Let stand for 24 hours to cool completely and set. After passing the controls and verifying that all the production of that batch of gummies is suitable for distribution, they are removed from the molds and all are placed in a very large drum. Here they are wrapped in a light food-grade oil. What is your favorite flavor of these gummies? The most popular are raspberry, orange, strawberry, pineapple and lemon. And now yes, after all this, some operators are in charge of counting and distributing packages of equal amounts, either in containers or in bags to go on sale. And speaking of some curious facts about these gummies, you will be surprised by the facts that they have inspired. They are as strange as they are popular. The largest gummy bear recorded in the Guinness World Records weighed 512 kilograms. The German Elisabeth Windisch took 6 days to make them. She finished on February 3, 2014. But not only the little ones have fun with this sweet, because there is a cafe located in Tokyo which has a laser cutter and a 3D printer which allows customers to print their entire body in the form of gummy bears. Some adults enjoy gummy bears in a different way, as in recent years they have become very popular by mixing them with a little vodka. Now let's talk about candy. Who hasn't eaten one? Caramel can be easily made from your kitchen, but it is thanks to Americans that industrial caramel production began around 1850. As candies are one of the most popular, we will also see how hard candies are made. It begins with the mixture made from water, sugar, sweetened condensed milk, light corn syrup, cornstarch, butter, salt and all the flavors that the manufacturer may add to make it attractive to the consumer. Then, this thick mixture is deposited in many molds in a continuous flow out and emptying into the mold. Incredibly, there are many candies that can be produced in just minutes with this mechanism. Eating just one is not enough. After a couple of minutes of cooling and setting, this pile of candies are unmolded, ready to be packaged and go on sale. Do you know where the word candy comes from? It was precisely when sugar cane was discovered during the conquest of the American continent that the Europeans called it, in Latin, canamelis, which means honey cane. That is the etymological root of our caramel. The popular wafer. It is impossible to see all those chocolates without looking appetizing, but how did they get there? First, the mixture that will form the wafer biscuit was made. It was baked in an honor until obtaining that wafer. There are ovens that can take out up to 40 wafers per minute, then they are cooled. Chocolate is added to each wafer sheet, layer by layer, wafer and chocolate, depending on the desired size. Then, everything is pressed and a thick layer of chocolate is added to finish with a flourish. These line up and are individualized to be packaged one by one. They are deposited in baskets that will take them to a distributor who will in turn pack all these individual packages into a single large package that contains a defined number of individual ones. And how do you eat your wafers? Well, I will tell you the best way according to experts. They explain that the best way to eat it is cold. When you go to eat them, try putting them in the fridge for 10 minutes beforehand and their flavor will intensify. Simply delicious. Always with control, of course. Sugar is one of the main ingredients that provides the most energy to our body, the brain being the one that benefits the most from it, which is why, on many occasions, it helps us to maintain more concentration. And since what is promised is debt, we will tell you which country has the largest number of candy consumers. According to a Statista survey conducted in 2020, it's the Germans. 61% of the German population regularly consume sweets and chocolates. It is followed by the United Kingdom with 59%, Brazil with 56%, becoming the Latin American country with the highest consumption, Sweden and Switzerland with 52%, famous for their chocolates. The United States holds 6th place in this survey with 50%, despite having the fame of having a sweet tooth and being pioneers in industrial manufacturing, followed by Spain with 49% and Argentina with 47%. At the other extreme, China with 30% and South Korea with 19% are the two countries surveyed with the lowest consumption of sweets and chocolate. Chocolates and sweets are the downfall of many. Although at first we think of the little ones in the house, the truth is that most of these sweets are a pleasure for adults. Hence, different companies market elaborations for different types of consumers, adding different varieties of liquors, more bitter flavors and low sugar levels. Did you like the video? Did you know the story behind your favorite treats? Tell us how it is. And if your favorites are ice creams, then here we also have for you how the largest industries make your favorite ice creams. It is certain that after this it occurs to you that you want to know how your favorite products are made. Subscribe and tell us which one you want to know, and we take care of taking you to the largest and most famous factories, discovering the impressive images of mega production. Until a next video.